Hey everybody, KC here. So it's been really interesting to me lately. There's been a bunch of stories that have popped up about IKEA. Nothing major, just little things that tell you something about how the company is sort of adapting to this new reality in which we find ourselves. For example, one of the things they talked about is the fact that they have discovered that two really hot categories, and they're doing their best to kind of meet demand in this area, are home offices and kitchens. Those are areas, and quite frankly, we're all spending a lot more time at home, right? And so the idea that they can find ways to develop home office setups that are going to meet people's needs, as well as the kitchen stuff, since we're all home cooking a lot more, makes an awful lot of sense. So they're totally in touch with that notion. Another interesting thing that they're doing is they've created this. Apparently, they're starting their first secondhand store, and what they're doing is they're taking refurbished IKEA furniture that people have moved on to something else, and they're selling it. I think this is a really smart idea. First of all, it's the very nature of sustainability, right? Just because I'm done with something doesn't mean that somebody else might they could use it. Okay, there's a lot of ways that you can recycle that kind of stuff. Just refurbish it, sell it. It's a really smart thing to do. I think Patagonia does an excellent job about saying, hey, listen, when you're done with something, don't throw it out. Bring it to us. We'll refurbish it. We'll find a use for it. Again, a very intelligent thing to do at this in this particular time in this particular era. Um, they're also using their city center stores, which you would think maybe that was a bad idea, putting in smaller city center stores. We've talked about that here in the past on Morning Newsbeat. Cities have pretty much emptied out to a great degree, but they're using their city center stores as basically delivery depots. So while you may not be able to go into those stores, or you weren't able to go into those stores as much to kind of look around and choose what you want, you certainly can order online, and they're using those in a very smart way. So three really smart things they're doing. One thing that I have to say, I never back in the old days, I never would have thought this was a particularly great idea. I don't know. Is they're coming out with a line of 13 candles, and each one is designed to have an aroma that will remind you in some way, shape, or form of your past, of your youth, of what you think of as being home. Now, I got to be honest with you, not a candle guy, right? Candles, yeah, I like them. They're fine, but I don't find them, they don't resonate with me to the same way they do with some other people. But I will tell you that two of the people that I know who the candles resonate with are my kids. Two of my kids, one of their favorite thing to do together is they make candles. They're always making candles. And we're not even allowed to throw jars out because virtually every jar we have in the house, when we're done with it, they wash it out and they turn it into candles. And they smell great. I don't know where this comes from. This is not something they got from me. But for them, the whole notion of candles connected them to youth, I think for the rest of their lives, candles are going to connect them to the idea of home. Um, and listen, these are the kinds of things that companies need to do. People are cocooning in a different kind of way than were just 6, 8, 10 months ago. Finding ways, whether it's home office equipment and kitchen equipment, refurbished furniture that'll meet people's needs, or just candles that make you think of home. All smart things you can do if you want to be relevant and resonant to people's lives. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning, and as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.